No matter what your hobby of choice is, it most likely has some sort of built-in cost. Whether it's something very expensive, like photography can be pretty expensive, or pretty cheap, like hiking. Maybe love going on a nice hike and all you need are some like shoes or something like that. No matter what it is, most things have some sort of cost, and riding roller coasters is definitely no different. In this video, we're going to talk about a breakdown of what it costs us to do all our amusement parks and roller coasters on an average year. How's it going, everybody? We are Beach Cliff Studios. Before we get into this video, we'd like to say thank you for coming and joining us. Please go down and subscribe if you have not already. Like, comment, share, do all those things that help all these YouTube channels, stuff like that. And a huge shout out to all our channel members. All these people that you see on the screen right here, they joined our channel membership. So if you like to, please go down in the description and you can check that out for yourself and consider joining. Now let's get fully into this video, a breakdown of what it's going to be. We're going to talk about every cost associated with an average year of what we do. Of course, some years we do a little bit more, some years we do a little bit less. And by no means do we do the most roller coaster trips out of anybody. Yeah. Plenty of people do a lot more, but a lot of people do less. So this is just our experience, and it may give you some idea of what, if you're like maybe newer into the hobby or something, or if you are looking to do more and venture out a little bit more, maybe give you a little bit of an idea of what you might have to look to spend. So we're going to do everything from even gas. Like, we live an hour away from our main home park. So that's a 2-hour round trip every time we go. So that's a lot of gas, especially with gas being as expensive as it is right now. So let's get into this full breakdown right here. I hope you enjoy this video. So right off the bat, every single year we have our passes, and what we get now, like last year and stuff, we had to get Six Flags passes as well. But now, luckily, our home park is Cedar Point, Cedar Fair Park. So we always got like either the Platinum Pass, or newer, more recent years, they have the All Park Passport. So that gets us into all of their parks. And now, luckily, it gets us into all Six Flags parks as well. But anyway, our passes, and we have season-long fast lane. So right away, before the season even starts, we spent $2,400 for the year. And that's just to get into all of those parks and get our parking and stuff like that. And obviously not even including the other parks that we go to that aren't part of the chain. Yeah. So that's $2,400 right off the rip. And then I brought up our home park, Cedar Point. So we go there multiple times a year as well. Yeah. Every time that we go, it's a good amount of gas, driving like 50, 60 miles each way. So we spend about a few $100s a year, we figure.
Yeah, and just gas going to our home park, which we usually go to how many times a year? Probably like
at least 30 to 40 times.
Yeah.
And then we have what we consider our second home park, Kings Island. It's only a few hours away, but whenever we go down there, I'd say 99% of the time get a hotel while we're down there. And like I said, it's a few hours away. And we go down there multiple times a year. So I figure we probably spend about $400 or so on hotel each year, and probably about $225 in gas. And I'll just like make this disclaimer. We are cheap travelers. We drive whenever we can instead of flying, unless it's absolutely necessary. We stay, we try to get decent places to stay, but we're not staying at luxury places by any stretch. We're getting basically the nicest, cheapest place that you can get. The car that we drive is pretty fuel efficient, so get good gas mileage. So we do everything that we can on the cheap. We pack a bunch of food whenever we go to places. So we definitely do things on the cheap. So if you're someone that's used to a little bit nicer of hotels or whatever, then costs are obviously going to go up for you.
So every year we go on some kind of winter trip, whether it's to Florida or California. But usually on those trips, we spend about $1,500 total with flight, food, some tickets to parks if we don't have passes for it, all that stuff.
And to carry on what I said earlier about doing it on the cheap, like whenever we do take flights, we do tend to take like Spirit or Frontier or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So we do things as cheap as possible. So what's a $1,500 trip to us. If you want to take like more of a quality airline or something and stay at nicer hotels, that can quickly go up in price. And then also we go in January. We tend to travel to these places during like off-peak times, whenever flights are a little bit cheaper and stuff like that. So little tips on how we keep prices down. We also take a spring trip most every year. Like last year, we did Silver Dollar City and Six Flags St. Louis. It's not always quite that far because we live in Cleveland, Ohio. So that was quite a distance. Sometimes it's King's Dominion, sometimes it's Carowinds, Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, whatever. But we take some sort of spring trip every single year. And normally we drive. So I figure for our spring trip, we probably spend, I don't know, around $85 to $100 in gas, depending on how far or where we're going. Hotel, we're usually gone for a couple nights, 2 or 3 nights, so we might spend $150 to $200 on hotel. And then I included tickets to parks because a lot of times, like I brought up Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, and Silver Dollar City, we don't have passes to any places like that. So I figure couple $100 for tickets. So I just threw that in there. So that could be anywhere from like $500 or so, or a little bit cheaper for a spring trip.
And every year we either go to Kennywood or Waldameer or both. And gas for that is usually like $30. And then the tickets to those parks are, what would you say, like 100?
Yeah, about 100 for the two of us. Mm-hmm. Both of those places are pretty close to us. And we never get a hotel, usually only like a couple hours away for those two places. But we always do at least one or the other every single year because, I mean, we brought up Kings Island as our second home park.
I've been to Waldameer every year for like the past, I don't know, long time.
Yeah.
Kennywood most of the years I usually go.
Yeah, there are a couple parks, like probably Waldameer would be our second home park if you talk about like distance or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we brought up Kings Island just because we go there more than any other park besides Cedar Point. But yeah, we're in for just a little bit over $100 for our Kennywood and or Waldameer trip. Obviously that goes up if we end up doing both. And then we always do a summer trip every single year. I figure we usually spend about $80 to $100 in gas, depending on how far we're going. We always are gone multiple days, so definitely need a hotel. We'll spend a couple $100 on a hotel. And if we go to any parks that are not within our chain that we have passes to, then we'll probably spend a couple $100. So anytime that we take a spring or summer trip or anything like that, where we drive, we end up spending probably close to the $500 range. That seems to be like every year. It's somewhere in that range. And also every single year, we try to go to Halloween Nights at Holiday World. One of the best events.
It's the best event we've ever been to. We still haven't been to Rodeo at Fiesta, which is supposed to, a lot of people really like. But as far as we've been, Halloween Nights is the best event.
So tickets alone to that are $300. Well, for us, $300, $150 a piece. And then we spend probably about $60 or so in gas and a couple $100 in hotel. We pregame at Kings Island the night before. So we're gone, get a few nights at hotels. But that's something that we do every single year that we can get tickets. And usually we're pretty lucky in getting tickets. If you add all that up together, we are probably around $6,500 a year just on roller coaster trips. Like we said, that includes everything, and that differs from year to year. Sometimes, like we said, we do a little bit more. Sometimes we do a little bit less. So anyway, that is our experience.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys don't have to leave exact dollar amounts, but let us know. Like, how many parks do you try to get to every year? Are you guys planning on getting to more or less this year or whatever? Love having conversations with people down in the comment section.
Yeah, and we always make videos for all the parks that we're going to. We just went to California. We have videos for all those parks. I'm going to be going to Fiesta, Texas in a little bit. I'll have a video for that. And we have videos for all these parks, so you should definitely subscribe.
Yeah, if you're not a subscriber already, then go through our channel. check out all our vlogs and stuff like that at all these parks. So that is it for this video. Thank you for coming and joining us, and we'll see you guys next time right here on Beach Cliff Studios.